Okay, I'm ready. Also, hi Jim. How's your evening going? Gotta finish setting up that. There we go. Good to hear, good to hear. Alright, now where did I leave off? I think I was working on the level up stuff so that we can finally actually use our experience points. It's gonna be under game screens. I want these buttons to do something. I should also probably rename all this stuff. I should also probably save this as a separate scene. Alright, let's open you. Kinda liking this track. It's White Bat Audio. It's pretty nice. Let's see here. You are... do I want... No. I think for now I'm just going to rename the labels. Health up, no. Health plus level health. That makes sense, I think. Level mana button. Level shields button. So the level up screen is gonna need... Oh, I should also change the size of this so it doesn't get... have the most channel mana. 310, nice. I wonder if there's a way I can do like a leaderboard or something. I bet there is. I'm just all kind of figuring this stuff out today though. Like, I think I have a few things you can spend them on. Yep. One of the ones I'm actually kind of excited about is the avatar pin button. I made a channel in the Discord for it. I'm hoping people upload images that I can stick to my avatar. Kind of like, I should probably put an example on. I mean, you've seen them before, like the slime and whatnot. Yep, like the slime. We'll get the slime back on. Kind of at a weird angle. Whoa. What? It's like sinking in my head. That's better. Okay. Hi whoever just started watching. How's your evening going? I want this. Button up. I think that's when I want it to go. Maybe? First, we need a script. Now we're going to want to attach the triggers for button up to you, and you, and you. So when we press this button, I think, oh. I should keep track of, in the player stats, I think is where I want to keep track of like how many, what should I call them, skill points that you have, level up points? I'll call them level up points. And these, I think I'm gonna have these, you get them every time you reach like a certain amount of experience. EXP to next level. We'll have you be, I don't know, 100? And then maybe like every time you level it goes up by 50? I mean the XP to next level, so it's always a little bit more. So maybe I'll need EXP increment amount 50. Now to keep track of this. Where am I? In here. Okay. I don't know when I'd ever use this, but I might want to for something. Let's do check if level up point, maybe? And so what we'll do is, if EXP points is greater than or equal to EXP to next level, then level up points plus plus. Does plus plus work? I don't think plus plus works. So we gotta do plus equals 1. That works. Okay. Let's try. So then we'll also want to make EXP to next level plus equals EXP increment amount, and EXP points equals 0. And we'll want to do check if level up point every time we increase it. Then update player XP. We'll actually want to display something different. I think what we want, where are you? You're here. We want to display something like that plus this to level. So now if we play, it crashes. Let's see where you're crashing. Update player EXP. Invalid, get index. Did I call it something else? EXP to next level, that's what I called it. There we go. Let's try you again. Oh, that's right. Still have that screen up. Let's just hide you for now. I'm really liking those buttons. Who was it that helped me with that? Was it that, Casper Dragonwolf, I think? It's pretty helpful. Hey, it works! Or maybe it'll work. Alright. Gotta get rid of the slimes, get the experience points. Hey, nice. Alright. So now I want to make it so that when you do get a point, do I want to display the screen then, or do I just want to give the players to like, do I want them to be able to bank the points and use them later? Like, maybe I could have something like a passive health regen or mana regen, but it costs like 2 or 3 levels to get that. That would be pretty cool, but I think I don't know. It's a good question. Oh, I know what I can do. instead of... Where's my screen? Okay. Yeah. So, because I don't want like leveling up to like interrupt the gameplay at all. So what if I had like a button show up right around here every time you had level points to spend? So then the player could choose when and how they want to spend them. I think that's what I'll do. So that'll be in the game UI scene. You are not that one. I'm still calling this the monster panel, even though it's not a monster. I should probably rename that and see what breaks. Win condition panel. Monster panel. Nowhere. Nice. All right. VBox container, grid container. Oh wait, grid container 2 columns. VBox container. I want to add another VBox container. And I want to put you inside of it. So that way I can add something right here. Yeah. Let's add a button. Your text will be level up points, I don't know, 0? Or, what do I want it to be? Level up, then like +1, and then it'll go +2, +3, +4 as you get points. So to start the game, the player has to click a button. Howdy Nova. And howdy Casper Dragonwolf. I was just talking about, I think it was you who was helping me design these buttons yesterday. Was that you? Nice. Thanks. I'm really liking the look of them. Okay. So the player has to click a button to actually start the game. So they should know when they see this that it's a button. How do I want it to be? Like +1, 2, 3, 4? Yeah. I think that's what I want the text to be. So the default will be that. Then I want... Whoa. Grow direction? Size flags. I don't think I want fill. Let's see. Theme overrides, maybe? No. Oh, I need to give the VBox some separation. That's pretty good. Well, maybe not that much. Let's give the button. What was it again? Oh know if it was... Here we go, rect. Okay, min size 50. Margin. This one. That's the position. Or is it the margin of... the theme? No. Mouse? You have it saved in the theme. Oh. So I would put... Let's go to... Where do I have the theme saved? I think it's under assets. There. Now, for this, I want button, not that. Last tab? Oh, then I just, yeah, okay, got it. Hi, passphrase. How's your evening going? I'm just working on implementing some level up stuff. Content margin. Aha! Yes. This is exactly what I want. Thanks again, Casper Dragonwolf. That looks pretty good. And I better do the same for all of them. There we go. Doop, 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 doop. Nice. I wonder... Yeah, the font's looking a little pixely. Use filter. Yeah, I like that better. Alright, and label. Yeah, there we go. It's looking a bit smoother. Again, normally I don't like the filter, I think, because it kind of makes sprite graphics look a bit weird. But for fonts, I think that's a good thing. Or at least for this font. So, when we hit the level up button, that's when we want to actually bring up the level up menu. And so we don't interrupt gameplay. So let's go back to you. Let's rename you to level up menu. Button? No. Level up button. Let's just call it that. Let's give you button up on game UI. We will then how are we gonna... Oh, I think I know. I could store a value in the player stats saying if you're in the level up menu or not. But really... Could I... This is... I'm not quite sure how to do it, but I'm wondering, can I signal this to cause a signal in here that will go up to here? I bet I can. I just need to custom signal. So I just do signal level at signal in GD script, I believe. Signal. There's a lot of stuff about signal. Or just signal. Okay. Alright, I think... I think I remember how. Yeah, I think I remember. Then signal name parameters. Or signal name if no parameters. I think just that. I don't know. I don't think I want it to do anything other than just say, hey, I did a thing. So we'll do emit signal level up signal. I don't know what else you're supposed to be. Oh, it doesn't need anything else. Nice. Okay. So we emit that signal. So now, when I go here, level up signal. So in here, level up signal. Okay. Then I want you to go to the canvas layer. Nice. Things are linking up. So now I want you to show the level up screen. How am I doing that? Oh, I'm just manually doing them all. Well, I'll keep doing it that way until I think of something better. Display level up screen. First we hide all screens. Then level up screen dot visible is true. Then get tree dot paused is true. If you want a simplified form of that function, of like changing out what screen I'm displaying, function display screen node. Okay. Yeah. Get tree pause true. Yes. You're right. That is way easier. Okay. And then it'll just be screen node. Sorry, lowercase visible. Some of my C sharpness coming through. That's okay. Well, I think I get it. So it'll just be screen node dot visible. I think, do I do like packed scene? Or is it not a packed scene? I think it's a packed scene. Not hack, hide. You don't have to specify that? So I can, yeah, I think you can just do that as node and it will work. Oh, okay. I'm trying to get in the habit of specifying types wherever I can, because I know in Godot 4 it's going to actually make a big difference, or so I've heard. All right. Now we do get tree. So I was just thinking, oh, I know what I can do. Do pause equals true. Do pause. So I could call this if I didn't want to. Yeah. It makes a difference now in 3x as they have added faster speed when using typing. Nice. So it's a good thing that I'm getting used to it. I mainly, like for work and stuff, have used JavaScript and PHP, so I'm, yeah, I need to get better at typing stuff. All right. Hide level up screen. So for the hide all screens, I think before I actually did have a little script that I ran that was going through each one of these screens and hiding them. But then I found that I don't want to do the game UI one. That's why I prefer C# over GD script, because I live on typing and class definitions. Yeah, I can see where that'd be super helpful. And like I mentioned before, I was strongly considering using C#, but I already sort of know C# and I didn't know like any Python. So I want to kind of learn that and have some excuse to write that side or that sort of stuff. Because I know that Python is getting a huge following in the big data spaces and for like I don't know, general use AI stuff. So it's probably going to be very relevant to know how to do in the next few years. Hide, right. I want level up screen dot visible equals false. Get tree pause. Well, as I said, learning GD script is good to learn the engine, and then it is fairly easy to switch to C# once you know how to use it. I might do that someday. I think, though, what I'll probably end up doing is I'll keep using GD script unless I'm working on a project with someone else and they prefer using C#, then I'll just use whatever they're using. And Python has long had a large following for data processing. I know my local university uses Python for scrubbing DNA data. Yeah, stuff like that. Image recognition stuff, video moderation, all those spaces seem to be using it a lot. There. Okay. The pause. Oh, whoops. There we go. I really like it when whatever editor you're using will tell you, like, hey, there's a problem on this line. Okay. That should work. And I probably don't need any of these anymore. But I'm using them all over the place. I bet. Display. Start screen. This would be a good test. Game canvas layer dot display screen. Wait. How come you're not... Oh, I haven't saved it yet. Oh, wait. If I'm passing that in... That might make it tricky. Because if I'm in here, I won't have access to... Oh, wait, yeah, I will. I can just do game canvas layer dot get node start screen. I think that should work. And I have to paused true. Okay. Now, theoretically, I should go... Yeah, it displayed the start screen. Nice, nice. Wait. I have a print debug somewhere that's doing something. Let me find that quick. Gold display amount? Oh, that's right. To lerp the gold amount. Which, if I remember right, is working. Yep. Nice. Okay. Okay. Let's do... what? Oh, right. I need to find all the instances of places where I'm using these things. Just there, so I can get rid of it. Alright, you are used there, and there you're commented out, which actually... I'll just remove you. Still don't know if I want to use this anymore. Okay, so it'll be display screen, game canvas layer, get node, wait, which screen was this? The win one? Display win screen, okay. Alright. I've always said, use what you're comfortable with, and that every language has its purpose. There is no one-size-fits-all, though you can do your best to try and make it that way. That's kind of what it seems like people do with JavaScript. They put that stuff everywhere. I just think it's fun to learn all the different kinds. Um, I don't know if I have a preference. Let's see, which one am I most comfortable in? Probably PHP. I'm not saying it's the best, but that's definitely the one I've made the most stuff in over the years. Display windscreen, it's just there. Let's get rid of you. I remember, like, for a while I was really into learning, like, kind of random, like, nobody uses them languages. Like, at college they had us learn, Lisp, and I thought it was really fun. But nobody uses it. I guess they used to a long time ago, but yeah, nobody uses it for stuff. Display game over screen, where are you being used? Just in player stats. Okay. We'll change you to display screen. Yeah, they used to use it long ago with the mainframe computers. Yep. That's probably why they were still teaching it in college. All those professors probably learned on it. Also, I think it makes a lot of sense because, like, if they teach that and then they write their tests and stuff in that, the students can't really look up what the answers might be because nobody's gonna have written stuff about it. But yeah, it was fun. Lol. Yep. Yeah, I actually, I tutored people for a while that were taking that class. Because I sort of went above and beyond and learned more than I needed to. So it was kind of a nice side gig while I was, you know, working my other job at college. Funny story about college jobs. So the first student job I had was working as a coder for the psychology department. And let me tell you, that doesn't mean what I thought it meant. Well, I wouldn't say that there isn't a way to find that information, because the internet these days you can find just about anything if you look really hard. Yeah, I would agree with that, but, like, I feel like it would be difficult to find the information you're looking for, like, in the middle of a test, whereas, like, if they were writing it in, you know, JavaScript or something, you'll get dozens of results really easily right away. The hardest part for me going from my brief GD script play to C# was the change in capitalization and enum references, but the docs have greatly improved in the last year. I kind of started this year, so I don't really know what the docs were like before, but so far I've really liked them. And yeah, I guess that would take some getting used to. But I feel like in the docs they do a pretty good job of showing both the GD script and the C# implementations for, like, their examples and stuff. I might be wrong, but I feel like that's the case. This was the game over screen. Yes, but not like 14 months ago. Much better now. Oh. I guess that's what you were talking about. But yeah. It's super nice that they included it. I remember hearing something about they got, like, a pretty decent chunk of funding that allowed them to hire someone just to work on the documentation. Well, it helps that a lot of functions properly map to GD and just have to realize what enums go with what classes. Other than that, it's fairly easy. Yeah, that's why I say, like, if I did end up working on a project or a game jam with someone, I feel pretty confident that I could, you know, just use whatever they're comfortable with. Okay, let's see. Display. Nice. Wait. That didn't turn up anything. I bet I typed you wrong. They got a lot of money in the last few months from different companies. That's good. I mean, I bet some people are a little worried though. But as long as their core principles of openness don't change, I think it's good that they have, you know, extra money to spend on developers and especially, you know, documentation. Where was I? Oh, right. Game canvas layer. Display game over screen. You are only here, so you can go. And display level up screen. I'm pretty sure I only made you there, so you can definitely go. I think that should be... Oh, I need this here. Hide level up screen. That. Wait, I'm doing that twice? There. There was a kerfuffle about one of the sponsors, Meta maybe. Somebody paid to add VR to Godot. Godot had a decent reply to all that. What was Godot's reply? I mean, I'd definitely like Godot to have VR support. Also, hi whoever just started watching. How's your evening going? Okay. Reality Labs? What about Reality Labs? What is Reality Labs? Godot engine receiving support, funded Facebook Reality Labs. Let's see. Let me read this. Whoop. It was a great Oh. It was the worry of the going to a particular vendor, but I say as the response seems pretty good to me. I mean, yeah, as long as it's... Okay. That's cool. That'll be neat. Nice. Yeah, I don't see any problem with it. As long as they hold true to their word, I think that's a pretty decent thing to have happened. I did, way back when the Oculus first came out, I actually got one of the dev kits for it. Like I kickstarted it and everything. And I made a pretty, well, it was an interesting game. You were a golf ball in like a mini golf sort of game, and like your perspective was from the ball's perspective. Super disorienting and very nauseating, and actually kind of scary. But I mean, it worked. I wouldn't recommend anybody playing it though. But it was a good opportunity to learn like how to build that sort of stuff at a time when it was actually like relatively still in its infancy. Um, I know there's been VR stuff, since like forever, but I feel like when the Oculus dev kit came out is when like the point in history when it like really became sort of a concrete thing that like what do I want to say, like hobbyists and enthusiasts could actually get on board and not just like research universities and stuff, or like amusement parks. Like I remember being a really little kid at I think it was it at Disney World, Epcot. They had like a hunt the dinosaur egg sort of VR thing. My sister's kids have VR. I don't have enough interest to spend the money and time to get a setup. I'd actually recommend checking them out. They've come down, well, some of them have come down in price. And it's really interesting to see some of the cool art pieces that people have made, if nothing else. Also, I multitask a lot, so I don't want to be locked into a visor. There's a really cool app for that. What was it called? It was basically like an infinite desktop. So like all around you, you could bring up as many monitors as you wanted, and you could just be sitting there working in like this infinite space of different windows. Granted, you need to have one of the more powerful VR headsets, or else everything looks very scan-liney. I am interested though, also concerned about needing a beefier PC and GPU. That really depends on the kinds of games you're running. As long as you're... So like, back when I was developing my golf game, it was running... I got it running on an NVIDIA 745M, like the mobile version. So that was really old. And it worked pretty well. So yeah, it's mainly just, what... Although, yeah, that was the dev kit, and that had a much lower resolution than the ones that I have now, and it's pretty much like, because of the stereoscopic nature of it, it's basically like you're running two screens at once at really high refresh rates. So yeah, you probably would need a bit of a beefier GPU. But yeah, if your computer can handle it, I highly recommend checking it out. That being said, I have one that I haven't set up in like half a year now. So maybe I should give it a whirl again. I actually got, once you get up in the resolution and scan line speed, you definitely need the system that would be able to do it. Yep. And I feel like that's one of the big things about preventing motion sickness. VTuber and VR. Yeah, there's a lot of them that do that. Like VR chat stuff. If I were to use this model though, I would need to drastically reduce the poly count. Because I'm like, I kind of, because my system is pretty powerful, I spared no expense. I mean, look at those hair wiggles. Actually, you could totally rig up your 3D model in VR chat. Yep. Yeah, I'll maybe try that someday. Once I learn a bit more about Blender and refining models. Because yeah, it's if you go into a VR chat with like a high resolution, or not high resolution, what's the word I'm looking for? Like basically a high poly count one, you kind of make the experience worse for everyone else because they have to take time loading your stuff. Um, and I don't want to be, you know, that person that like you gotta wait for me to load. And, yeah. Um, what was I doing? Talking about VR stuff is what I was doing. One of the kinds of games that I liked playing, but only if I had someone else in the room with me, are like haunted house style games. Um, they were pretty fun, but yeah, no, I'd get too freaked out if there wasn't somebody else there. Right, I need this thing. On game UI level up signal, we want to display the level up screen. So let's do display screen. And I can just do level up screen. I think that's all I need. Yeah. Nice. Of course, I don't have any way to get out of here now. I should probably make a little X or something. Yeah, I need a way to get out of that. Let's give ourselves a button. Center container. Maybe I want to have this be like, what are you now? Just a control node. I think I remember seeing there was like a pop-up. Yeah, what are you like? Do pop-ups come with built-in like close mechanisms? Doesn't look like it. Window dialog? That might be what I want. Yeah, that's got the thing. For now, let's move you down here. Pop-ups will hide by default unless you call pop-up on any of the pop-up functions. Making them visible for editing is fine, but they will hide upon running. Oh. That would kind of change how I'm doing stuff. Maybe I don't want one of those. In case you didn't know, the VR Chat Creator Kit or whatever is an older Unity thing. Unity Chan is in VR as a default avatar. Nice! I remember using Unity Chan for a lot of like side projects. Not that I've made an avatar, but I kind of poked into how. I think you should make an avatar. I used Vroid Studio to make mine, and it was pretty easy. And I mean, I feel like the quality's not that bad. And then I use VC Face, and basically, as long as you keep, and I might not be right about this, but as long as you keep like your proportions relatively close to what you are in real life, it'll, although maybe it doesn't make a difference. I might have put in a lot of extra work that I didn't need to do, because I've been watching Team UN stream about the VC Face GD thing he's making, and I feel like a lot of the avatars he tests on look very different from each other. So maybe it doesn't matter. Oh well. Yeah, I don't think I want the window dialogue. I'll just create my own little X button. Or something. What should I use? Well, for now, maybe I'll just make them, like, force them to choose one of these three, and I'll think about it later. Yeah, I think it just locks onto eyes, nose, mouth, and translates them. That's what I thought it was doing too, but I thought that, like, or I had it in my head that if the dots on your face didn't match the dots on your avatar, that it would look really strange. But yeah, maybe it doesn't. O, E, I, yeah. Move there, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it probably doesn't matter. Yeah, now that I actually think about it, I mean, there's people who, like, have all sorts of different stuff that doesn't even seem humanly possible, so it would have to work somehow. Well, back to the original point, I think you should make one and try it out. If for no other reason, then it's a pretty interesting and fun thing to do. Right. I want to hook these up to this script, which they already are, I think. And so I think I just want to do, I should write functions for them. Because then I can change them here, which is where they should be changed. I'll put them, oh, I should probably write some more stuff in refresh player. Gold to win. Oh no, I don't want gold to win. It's current gold equals 0. Shields. Shield current max is equal to shield initial max. I probably want, what else do I have? Mana equals max mana. I'm just thinking, is there a way to split the editor in two? Haven't tried that yet. Keep debugger open? Wonder what that does. Might be useful. I'll try to remember that for later. Whoa. Whoa! Is this how you set breakpoints? Is it really just... Nice! I can just hit F9. And now... oh, that's because I have a thing dropping in there at the beginning. Oh, this changes everything. Oh, I could have used this so many times. So many print debug statements were used in vain. Oh, nice. Okay. Let's close you. So I'm guessing I just press F9 again. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. All right. What was I gonna do next? Oh, right. Refresh player. Mana regen default. EXP to next level. I definitely want to change level up points back to 0. What else do I want? I feel like gold to win can stay. Iframes time. We should not change. We should change these. Shield time remaining, yes. Okay, change those 3. Equals 0.0 is shield on equals false, is iframes on equals false. I think that's all I need. Oh, EXP increment amount, EXP to next level. I need to reset that. So let's do EXP to next level, base, that. So then I can do this like that. There we go. That should refresh the player. Let's see what else. Decrease player health, increase player health. Where did I come from? Oh, over here. Yes, okay. I initially came here because I wanted to make functions for handling the level up buttons. What should I do for it? Do I want to make one for each type of level up? Or should it just be... Maybe I should make an enum for it? Let me make sure. Get enum list. Hello, hello. Oh, hi, Arrowax. How's your evening going? Have you made some more progress on your OBS integration? Oh, hi, Exodrifter, and thanks. Yeah, I was super happy when I was able to set that up today. I'm not looking to monetize this or anything, but I do enjoy the possibility of, you know, gamification of, you know, people doing stuff. Yeah, I started setting up all the settings for different sources last night. Nice. Yeah, is your project going to be open source? If so, I'll definitely check it out. I mean, I guess I'd check it out even if it wasn't, but yeah, that's the plan. Nice, nice. And yeah, I'm excited to play around with channel points one day. Yeah, it should be super fun. Oh yeah, Exodrifter, now that you're here, I just remembered a question I had. If I do use your music in stream, what link do you want me to use to credit you? And I also was wondering if you store VODs of your previous streams anywhere. Because I would love to see what you get up to. But no pressure if, you're not into that. I figure if it's open source, people can help me make it better. Yeah, that's kind of the way those things go. As long as you can garner enough support and stuff. But yeah, I'd definitely be into checking it out and playing around with it. Guess Drifter.space. VODs, Patreon only at the most. Oh, you have a Patreon? Cool, I'll give that a check too. Yeah, I think that's what I used for last stream. Gives me a safety net somewhat. Yep. Eventually I will get affiliate status, lol. Yeah, you just gotta... I mean, again, how should I put this? I really do enjoy having you all here, and it makes this game dev stuff way more fun. But I'd have fun even if I was just, sitting here by myself. But I definitely have more fun that you're all here. So you're all very appreciated. And also the help that you all give me is top notch. I mean, way above what I think I deserve or expected. VODs are technically hosted on Vimeo, and you can only access them on Patreon at the moment. I'm hoping I can make a website soon to browse them. Nice. Well, I look forward to it. Patreon and Coffee don't have very good tools for browsing VODs. The only Patreons that I used to do, but I guess, there were a few webcomic artists that I supported, but they, I guess they quit doing Patreon because they didn't like the feeling of obligation that it gave them. Like I guess they felt like they needed to produce content because people were paying for it. And I mean, that's not how I wanted them to feel about me, like my patronage, but I don't want to cause people stress either, so. Yeah, my Patreon relationship is kind of weird. Well, I'll check it out. Or, I mean, if you'd rather I do some other thing, like, you let me know. What was I? Oh yeah, I was gonna try maybe setting an enum. So I want to do like handle level ups. I keep mixing my cases again. At least I'm fairly consistent within the same file. Also, what you working on here, besides learning Godot things? I'm making a claw machine game. Let me quickly pass this, and I'll give you a show. Assuming I haven't broken it. So basically, I just wanted to pick a project that would give me sort of an overview of all the different styles or different aspects of gameplay. Yeah, it's going to be a claw machine game with RPG elements. If you get potions, they restore your mana. The mana that right now you only use for lasers, which you use to clear out the place. If you get a book, That'll give you some shields that will repel hazards. You get coins and clovers to get gold needed to win. And yeah, that's pretty much the game so far. But yeah, it's I don't know, just been a super fun thing to learn with. Let's see what else. The most I do is exclusive content once in a while, and I promise credits and games. But making games takes such a long time, and I don't do that for game jams. And well, I mean, I really enjoy watching people just, you know, learning and stuff, so I'd definitely give it a watch. And I was working on a claw machine game. Oh, yep. Interesting. Yep. Don't worry too much about pronouns. I mean, I prefer they or them, but you know, she, he, whatever, doesn't matter. I mean, I'm not gonna get upset. Oh yes, I remember you mentioned it now. You can play it over here. Do you know how up to date it is? Shoot, I forgot to make a build last night. Seems like a funny mix of mechanics. Yep, I thought so. The tongue-in-cheek thing that I think I'm gonna try and do is like take gameplay style X, but with RPG elements. Cause you know, everything needs RPG elements. And yeah, after I kind of get this feeling a bit better, I want to make like sort of an overworld where you go like battle to battle, and that this will be like the battle arena. Oh gosh, sounds like that'll lead to some weird combos. Yep, it'll definitely be strange. One of the next prizes I'm working on is like a gravity belt that like sucks things into you, and yeah, should be fun. But yeah, I hope you enjoy your time here. Oh, and I suppose this might be your first time here. For the channel in general, I'm trying to create super relaxing content that people can wind down the evening or put on in the background to, you know, while they're studying or whatever, or maybe even to help you fall asleep, if it helps. Because I know this kind of content is what I used to, you know, if I'm battling insomnia or whatever. Yeah. So, happy to see you here. Oh, and I don't know, I mean, you don't have to or anything, but we've got a Discord server over here, where there's a lot of folks getting together to, like, you know, get game dev resources or art or just hang out. I struggle with poor sleep and insomnia a lot. Yeah, I know what you mean. One of the things that's been helping me is, well, this actually, but also I try to do some yoga every night before I go to bed, and there's like, I don't know what it's called, but there's like a certain set of yoga poses that are like pretty good for doing at night, that don't like, oh, what am I looking for? They don't like make you more awake. Oh, also, not to, like, you know, backseat sleep quality, whatever, but another thing that helps me is, I'll try and read something that is sort of interesting enough to want to read it, but not really enough that, like, it matters. What would be a good example? Like, I'll take some game, let's say, that I know I'm never gonna play, and I might read the wiki for it, just to, you know, see what it's all about and stuff. Some interesting criteria. Yeah, it's kinda. It is kinda. The Wikipedia holes are great. The problem with that, though, is I think it's almost too interesting then. Yep. Yeah, and for like the game wikis, that's definitely happened a few times. Where it's like, oh man, now I really want to play this. Right, I was trying to handle level ups. Plus side, you found a game to play. Yep, it's a bonus. Hidden bonuses. I should try looking through some of those. I was learning about people who took full color photos shortly before and after World. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that would keep me up. I'd get way too into learning about it. Handle level ups. I don't know. Do I want to make a different function for each of the skill buttons? All the rabbit holes, for sure. Well, for now, I think I'm just gonna do level up health. Yeah. Or yak shaving? Yes, it is a saying, somehow. Okay, now I have to look it up. Yak shaving. A task that leads you to perform another related task and so on. Oh no! That is very accurate though. That is, if you watch any of my stream, I sometimes go on stuff like that while I'm coding. It's rabbit holes except somewhat productive. Yep, exactly. Level up mana. Level up shields. So now, for this one, okay, level up health. What do we want to do to level it up? Health, max health, max health increment amount, level up amount, level up amount. Makes sense to me, sort of. Alright, you start at 50. Let's do 10s for now. Let's put you here. Max mana. Level up amount. Oh! I wanted to actually, let's switch to Exodrifter's music, if that's okay. Where do I have it? Let's go. Where are you? Please feel free to listen to my music on your stream. All right. Whoa. Ah, come back, everything. There we go. I honestly can't get enough of this particular track. There's something about it. It makes me happy that you enjoy it. It makes it makes me happy to enjoy it. Like that part right there. Something about that melody. It's like it seems familiar. Like I've thought about it before. I don't know. But yeah, I've been been listening to it quite a bit today. Level up health. We want max health to be equal to plus equals level up, max health, level up amount. Pretty simple. I'll maybe do something more complicated later. But this is mostly just because I want something to happen when you get experience points. Let's see. Oh, I didn't do a shield. Shield initial max. Shield. Shield current max. I guess I'll work on my game too. We'll be lurking. Sounds good. And I'm glad that you're working on your game. Yeah, because if I can get you in the mood to work on a game, I'll consider this more than a success. Shield. Initial. Not initial max. How do I want to handle this? Shield level up. Increase. Shield. Max. Shield current max gets boosted if you get multiple shields in a row. Then it gets reset to initial max. So I think what I need to do is have that be let's do 1 second. Where are we using you? Shield initial max there. And over here. Oh, I'm just resetting it there. Okay. Indent block expected after level up shields. Oh, just okay. Do that. 42. What? That's not what's on my front. Oh, because I need to save it probably. Shield initial max. There we go. Yeah, that made it update. Okay. So I guess I just need to increment the initial max. Then, when I refresh the player, that won't get set to its appropriate value. So I actually need... initial max should be, like... I need to think of a better naming convention for these shields. For now, though, you're gonna be Shield Max Base. No, that's super confusing, though. Okay. Shield Current Max. Shield... Resettable Max? Shield... Might be worth it to make a utility class. Make the leveling up a utility class, or if you mean like being able to call player stats, I already have it set as an auto load, so this can be called from wherever. But I basically want the max that it starts at, the max that it will get reset to, the current max, which will get pushed up. Like, let's say you got 2 shield buffs in a row. I don't want it to be like you have 5 seconds of shields, then you get the next one and you have 5 seconds. I want it to be more like you have 5 seconds, a second later you get another shield buff, you'll have 9 seconds of available shields. Which works, but I just need to think of a name. Shield max base is good. Shield... shield... reset max? Sorta works. Yeah. It makes sense in my head, at least. There we go. I wanted to check out, I think it was this one. Nameless is the album we're listening to now. Oh, right. Where are you, Lynx? This is what we're listening to anyone who happens to be tuning in now. Alright. So then leveling up shields will basically just do max shield reset max. I just made a class to encapsulate the values into one thing, so you don't need to worry specifically about how it's done, and then you can reuse it for other stats like health. That would probably... Let me think. Yeah, I could see how that would work. So basically it would just be, I would have my own type of thing, we'll call it a stat thing. That stat thing can have a value that it will get reset to when you reset the game. It'll have a value that it's currently at, a value that it's trying to get to, a value that is, the value that it's trying to get to so that you can lerp it, and then a value that is the current max. I think that would work. DM'd you pseudocode. Thanks very much. I'll take a look. Yeah. I could definitely do that. I haven't actually delved into any class stuff in Godot yet, so this would be a good opportunity to learn. Alright, class. I get annoyed making classes in Godot though, so... well, I mean... it's something that I feel I should know how to do, whether or not I actually want to do it. So where would I put it? In its own... like, can I write it? Let's just try a thing. Class soup tester, because we're testing some soup. I want that to have a float of spicy. We'll have it at 3.0 and an enum of flavor. You're going to be... wait, how do I do enums again? I don't think I've used enums either. Enums are fun. Yep, I should probably learn how to use them. What is... alright, I'll look up. Enums. Oh, I don't want to watch a video. Okay, so you define it just like that. Not bad, not bad. Let's do ramen, bean, and tomato. Oh, whoops. Var spicy of type float. And wait. I'm doing it wrong again. What are you? Wait, no, that was right. Expected. What? Gosh, I hate tutorial videos so much when I'm trying to do the beep boops. Yeah, I feel you there. Oh wait, I don't need an equal sign. I think that's it. Yeah, alright. Okay, so now... got my soup tester. Let's do... how do I want to display it? Let's... wait a minute, can I do that? What happens when I do that? I don't think I can do that. Nope. Player stats. Oh, I need to be selecting this. Let's try. Export var class. No. Oh, no, I would need to do... okay. Soup is souptester.new. Or do I do soup tester Invalid export type. Only built-in and native resources can be exported. Oh, I gotcha. So if I wanted to have like a class that I could export, would I need to build a plugin for that? Regardless, let's try plopping you in here. I want to do var soup equals var soup of type soup tester equals, how do I set up an object? Let's see what you are. You are null. What if I do soup dot flavor is equal to tomato? No, I don't do that. Soup dot flavor tomato is how I do it. Right? I think that's how I call it. What you got? Flavor nil. Let's look up some more about enums. Oh. Wait, okay, enum state is the same as that? Why aren't you... more tutorial videos. Well, I'll read all that later. For now, though, I think I'm gonna use the pseudocode, this stuff. Let's plop you in. We want var current value type float, var term max value type float, var modifier float, type float, then function. I think that's good. So let's do what should I have for buff? Amount time. Increase yes. So I want, instead of buff, let's call you no, yeah, buff actually makes sense. I just went down my own rabbit hole. You should tell us about it. What was it you were following, I guess would be the appropriate term. Damage amount. Decrease stat. Reset. So I want, also gonna need to change all of you so that you're like that. Whoops. No. Formatting. Woes. All right, you're good. Oops. You're still... Wait, what? There we go. Whoa! Lots of text. I decided that I want to make connecting events or using in C#, so why not having properties to automatically set nodes by using custom attributes for node path or self node. I just added a signal handler to custom attributes from my library to automatically do connecting of event signals methods. Untested, of course. Added. Oh, was this for that that project manager project that you were working on? Or you were the one working on the project manager, right? Sorry if I got that wrong. There were spaces in there, okay. It's a utility library that I'm using with the project manager. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I remember seeing screenshots for it. But will be available for anyone to use in Godot C#. Nice. Yeah, feel free to drop a link to it in the Discord if you haven't already. Or even if you have already. Let's do... Oops. Let's do a stat increase. Oh, this piano song was fun to make. I'm glad you had fun making it. Let's turn it up a little. Ooh, this one's pretty neat. It's a short character theme for one of my partners in Final Fantasy XIV. Oh, you play Final Fantasy XIV too? Or, not 14-2, 14 as well? Used to. Yeah, every now and again I'll hop back on. So basically, instead of doing node.connect signal this, you can simply use the attribute signal handler, signal node property field, above the method to handle it. Oh, so it kind of... Wait, hold on. Node connect signal onto the current object that it is on node event. You can simply use signal handler signal node property field. So that will plop the information of node property field upwards, if I am thinking of that correctly. I still need a lot more practice with signals. Basically, any property or field that you define to hold the node reference on the class. It will get the value of that field to handle it. Nice, that'd be super useful. I think most of everything that I'm handling with that is like stored in like monster or player stats and whatnot, so that once it gets the signal, it knows what to do. But yeah, if you had something that needed to be passed up, like, I don't know, if you had a slider or something, then yeah, you would need to pass that value up. Okay. For increasing a stat, I basically do... That's super easy. Current value plus equals amount. Current value minus equals amount. The buff, how do I want to handle that? How should I start the buff? Do I want to instantiate a timer when that happens and then make it a one-off and then it'll like drop itself once it's done being used? Then how would I... Let me think about this. If the time... So we have a stat, we're passing it a buff of a certain amount and a time that it'll last, we'll need to have like a check to see if the current time needs to be expired. So basically we will need to go through each of the stats and check to see if they have any buffs applied to them. If they do have buffs, we need to get rid of them. Let me think. Or we could handle it by taking the buff and actually passing in, like, not an amount of time, but an actual time. Like a timestamp, let's say, I don't know, 10 seconds in the future. And then we'll just check to see if the current time is greater than that timestamp. Then we know to retire the buff. That could work. Now I need to learn how to get a reference to the system time. Get time. Get Unix time. Thank you. I love it when that function exists. I think you had something like that somewhere. Yeah, I had like a manually created timer that whenever... But if I want to do it in a way that can be used for like a generic class of things, I don't know if I want to create timers with code. I think I want to have any timers that I create, like, I have to manually create them as nodes, like in the editor. I guess I need to also learn how to refer to these things better. The difference being like between a scripted timer and a editor timer. But I do like I do like the idea of getting the Unix timestamp, and then that'd be an easy way to check. And it should also be a relatively inexpensive check to perform if you have a lot of stats. So it wouldn't really matter if you were doing it every frame. Especially not for my game. So yeah, that's how I think I'm gonna do it. Where are player stats? Just so I don't forget, amount of buff, time is Unix time in the future when buff retires. Yes. Except if you, well, I'm probably overthinking it, but what if you had buffs coming in from different places and they were affecting the same stat? Okay, I'm not gonna pass in the time. No, I'll still use that. Time to retire in seconds. Time in the future to retire in seconds. So I want to have when to expire. You're going to be an int that will be let me think. I'll also want var buff amount. Let's say I wanted the buff, so we'll do buff amount plus equals amount, and then we'll do when to expire is equal to os.get Unix time plus time. Wait, yeah. Yes. Wait. Okay, so if you apply two buffs to the same type, oh, hey all. How's it going, Markia? How's your evening? Or I think it's evening where you are. You said it was 4 back nice and chill. Good to hear. Let's see. 6:14. That could be evening. Usually I always classify evening for me as like After I've had dinner. That's evening. That seems like a good measure. Yep. Yeah, I think it was one of you two that kept talking about chili, so I finally had to make some tonight. It was just kind of simple chili. Just some stuff I threw together. A few different kinds of beans. I've been guilty as charged. So you're the chili mistress. All right. Indeed. Let's see. The logic of whether or not to expire a buff should probably be in here as well. Let's call it expire buff. Right, it'll take... Actually, I don't think it needs any parameters. Because all we're doing is checking the current time versus when to expire. What happens? Oh, that's easy. I'll just do if buff amount, no, not buff. If buff amount is greater than 0. What the heck is this song? Here are your pills, is what I guess you named it. Oh no. I think it's pretty fun. It's almost got like a Mega Man 8 sort of vibe to it. I don't know if you've ever played that one, but it was definitely a lot more whimsical of the Mega Mans. Mega Men? Maybe? Okay, if buff amount is greater than 0, then we know that we actually have to check. So what we'll do is... It reminds me of that one character from the external world. External world? Is that... What is that? A boy learns to play piano while a cat and various... Oh! Wow. That looked... that went dark quick. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't pull it up on screen. Like, it's like, a boy learns to play piano with a cat. And then... Did it stop playing? Oh, I guess that's the end of that album. Let's try this one. Voyage. I think you mentioned that yesterday. Is it playing? Oh, it's building up. I hear it. The one I like most, and is slightly more appropriate, is Please Say Something. is that a name of one of your songs, or the name of another? Please say something. A troubled relationship between a cat and mouse set in the distant future. I'm gonna check that out later. Oh, wow. I feel like I remember that art style from somewhere. I've probably seen some of that, actually. Also, hi to whoever just started watching. How's your evening going? It was me reconnecting after my net decided to go out. Oh, sorry to hear about your net. I hope it's more stable now. Okay, if buff amount is greater than 0, then we know we need to do something. We'll check if os.get, no, if when to expire is greater than os.get Unix time. It occasionally happens when dealing with 5G home internet. Do you have maybe, like, have you thought about getting a mesh network? They work pretty decent nowadays, but you kind of have to pay for one of the better quality ones. But yeah, the thing about 5G is it's a lot faster, but it doesn't have near the range. I've had to cleverly set up a number of offices to use 5G in, like, an intelligent way that it's not like being blocked by cement walls or whatever. Like, there was this one office building I was working on, and I could not for the life of me figure out why, like, none of the rooms could access it even if they were right next to each other. Turns out the walls weren't made of wood like I thought. They were made of, like, solid steel. Like, I guess maybe it was like a bomb shelter or something? I don't know. But there was no signal getting through there. Okay. If when to expire. Oh. Wait, okay, do I have this right? That's 20. Then when to expire is gonna be greater, and then that'll clip up. No, I want it to be if it's less than, right? Yeah. Then we know we need to expire the buff. Also, hi whoever just started watching. How's your evening going? If when to expire, then that means we have to set the buff amount to be 0. And I think that's it. Because when to expire will just get reset on the next time the buff is issued. Yeah, I think that's all I need. And then the modifier, I'm assuming what you meant was like, you know, if you had a percent increase. That, I think, would be super useful. So I'm going to leave that in, but I'm not going to use it yet. I actually am doing pretty good using T-Mobile's 5G home internet, and it doesn't cut out all that too often, though I'm only getting 3 bars on 2 bands that are available to me. That's oh, you mean like cell network. Oh, I thought you meant like your router was in 5G. Oh. Yeah, I'm the part of the country that I'm in probably isn't going to get 5G for a while. I think I'm probably going to be moving before it'll arrive here. Modifier could be whatever. I just didn't use the word buff because I thought you might want to use the same field for buffs and debuffs. Yeah, for sure. That's actually a really good point. I didn't even think about debuffs, so you could pass in a negative amount. So really what I want to see is if it's not equal to 0, I usually hit around 150 megabits per second download and 12 megabits per second upload. That's not bad for a cell network. And around a 55 to 60 millisecond ping. That's also pretty decent. Yeah, anything I think under 150 is hardly noticeable when it comes to stuff like VoIP or even video, really. So yeah, that'd probably be pretty decent. I don't think I could get by with that low of a speed, though. I do a lot of stuff, like a lot of servery stuff. But I have been thinking about getting like a cell network plan too. Just to have. I wish I could remember it. There was like a... What was it? It might have even have been from T-Mobile, where it was like this open network plan that sort of got grandfathered in to their service, where it was like you would pay a yearly fee and you would have really inexpensive access from pretty much anywhere, although the speeds were pretty low. But I guess it was really good for like people who like to do a lot of camping. Well, I'm not doing any server stuff because T-Mobile and Verizon do CGNet setup, so I can't really host servers unless I do a SSH tunnel to an external server. Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's ways you can host servers on the cell network, but you gotta jump through a lot of hoops. I guess I've never even tried it, if any of the dynamic DNS services work for it. Yeah, I don't know. But VPN being the most easiest way to do it. Yeah, yeah, because if you VPN into something, you could... I don't know if I'd want to do that, though. I think it's worth it just to pay the extra for, like... I guess I'm not paying for a static IP. I'm I just sort of have a script running that will update the DNS records as needed. Not that it really matters too much. 'Cause I don't think anything... I think most of the stuff that I have is intelligent enough to know that if it can't reach here... Sorry, I'm just kind of thinking out loud now. Yeah, but with ZGNet, can't get outside connections coming in as it totally blocks off the network addresses that are internal to the network from the outside internet. Wait, totally blocks off that are internal to the network. Can't get outside connections coming in. I guess I'm not familiar enough with it. I'm going through ways that you could get around that. But yeah, it's probably more trouble than it's worth. Okay, right. Negative buffs. Pass in a negative number. The buff amount is not equal to 0. So really, yeah, all it is doing is shifting it. So if you got a buff that gave you 20 health, and then you got a buff that removed 20 health, this thing would just remove the buff entirely, which is, I think, what you want to happen. Basically, think of it as old phone system. You get assigned a phone number, and if you just dial the prefix in the line number, you will only get calls going through if they are on the same network. But if you dial an area code, that opens up the other networks. Yeah. I'm just trying to think, like... I guess... I mean, SSH tunneling or maybe a SOCKS proxy would work. But, again... what would be the use case for it? You'd probably... the only... I mean, really, if you're doing, like... if you're trying to, let's say... yeah, I don't know. It would have to be SOCKS 5 because you need the external connection to a server in order to get communication going both ways. Yeah, you probably would need to have some external reference point in order to... So you could still, you could still host the stuff wherever you were, which would be helpful for, like, archiving projects where you can get, like, cheap disks and just, I don't know, plop them on an Unraid server or whatever. And then, yeah, that'd probably be a good use case for it. But again, any place that you would have... So the main benefit of being on a cell network is that it's mobile. And any place that you would have a server or something that you would need to, be hosting something, it's probably going to be stationary, and you'll likely have a better option for internet access. Or I should say a more performant one for hosting web servers. Unless you were, like, living out of a mobile home or a camper. That might be a thing. Okay. I think this is probably good. Well, it's the cheapest since cable and DSL is going up in price like crazy. Yeah, that's the truth. Also, hi to whoever just started watching, or it might have been a while since someone was watching. But yeah, how's your evening going? I only pay a flat $50 and that's it. Oh, that's actually pretty cheap. I wonder. Well, actually no, that's not that cheap. Cause I'm getting I think a half gig or 500 megabits per second, and I think I'm paying 70 or 60 even. So yeah, well, but if you're paying the 50, then you have the benefit of being highly mobile, so that's pretty good. It is, especially for the speed I'm getting and not having to worry about going over my data caps. Yep. It would be nice to have no data caps on your cell. Although, with how I've been like working from home during the pandemic and stuff, the mobileness of it really isn't that big of an issue for me. Would be nice once people can start traveling again, though. Okay. So we increase stat, we decrease stat. We can expire the buff, we can do the buff. We will want to check the buff. We'll check to see if we can expire any buffs. So when we start, we'll just need to get... Okay. var exp. Oh, I can't do experience. Var health, var mana, var shields, var gold. Then in the ready function, I'll just do experience equals statmeter.new. Let's see. In GD script, do I need to signify a constructor class? And I'm overloading health. Nah. I'm gonna leave this in here as a to-do. Use this instead of all that junk below. And then I'm gonna... Yeah. Wait. So for now, I'm gonna keep doing things the way I was, but once I read up more about how you're supposed to do classes in GD script, I'll come back to it. What? I thought that's how you did multi-line comments. Or is it this? Okay. Get rid of that. Okay. shield reset max equals mass base. No, shield reset max is equal to plus equals shield max level up increase that should be good. Okay. I think that's all I need. So then went on a whole lot of tangents, but I think coming back here, I just do player stats dot level up health. Player stats, level up mana, and player stats, level up shields. Then, at this line, let's try out using breakpoints. Alright, start the game. We can level up max health. We're at a breakpoint. We can see oh, this is so nice. This is so much better than all that print debug junk I was doing before. Alright. So our health is at 50. Let's step. Step. Max health 50. Step. Max health 60. It does what I want it to. Nice. Alright, now so if we level up that mana. Oh, whoops. I also need to no longer display the level up screen. So let's do game canvas layer dot do I want to do hide all screens? Or should I handle that? Should I be handling that within the level up function? No. This should happen here. Because we're actually in the thing that wants to get hidden. Doop. 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 I also need to update the UI should update hide all screen. No. I do want this to happen in the player stats area. Level up health, hide all screens. Let's do game, canvas layer, update, player health bar. Let's do that. Game canvas layer, update, player mana bar. game canvas layer update. Wait. Oh, right, the shields, you won't actually see it until you get a shield. And it should just work, because it's constantly figuring out what it needs to lower itself to. Also, hi whoever just started watching. How's your evening going? We're just working on the claw machine game and learning all about different UI stuff and classes and enums. Okay. Now this should work. Boop. Yeah. Max health is going up. And max mana. Max shields. Alright, now... when you increase the max, I feel like it should also give you whatever the amount was that you leveled up. So we want to do increase player health by the max level up amount. Increase... wait a minute. Oh no, it was working. Increase player mana by the max mana level up amount. And again for the shields, should we give them some shields right off the bat if they select it? Because right now, increasing the max shield time isn't... oh! Wait a minute. I think I'm increasing the wrong thing for shields. Shield max base... that's when it's being reset. Shield reset max. Setting that to 5. Wait, where are you? 193? Oh. I need to save this and then do the search again. Shield reset max. Shield reset max. If shield time remaining, shield current max. That should work, right? Increase shield time. I hope I'm not just hard-coding that. I bet I am. Yep. So I don't think increasing your shields will actually do anything. All it's gonna end up doing is this is a neat song. Meeting for the first time. It's almost got like a Final Fantasy IX feeling to it. Well, maybe a Final Fantasy VIII. I don't think I've played Final Fantasy IX. It's pretty fun. It it sort of felt like a return to the classic style of like the whole job system, and kind of felt a bit more fantasy oriented. Although, well, no, I don't want to spoil it. in case you ever do want to play it. But yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah, this plucky part right here kind of reminds me of it. I think my favorite so far is Final Fantasy XII, just because I think the Gambit system and skill tree was interesting. It, for Final Fantasy XII, I remember I liked it less and less as I got better and better at using the Gambit system. Because it got to a point where I sort of just didn't have to play the game. The characters kind of just played themselves. Which, I mean, is super interesting, but I don't know. I really liked the setting. And I think the graphics and the overall gameplay kind of felt a lot like Final Fantasy XI, which I really enjoyed. Yeah, I've heard that criticism, especially since eventually there is no specialization between characters. Yeah, it's pretty much the only specialization are the ones that you make. Which, I mean, to be fair, like, the same could be said of, like, you know, Final Fantasy 7 and 8. Kind of 10 also. Like in 10, once you get far enough along the sphere grid, everyone kind of feels the same. Yep. Oh, that reminds me. I just a little while ago got a PlayStation 5 finally. I need to go back and check out Final Fantasy 15 again. I bet it'd run a lot smoother. Because I remember while I was playing it, like, it felt like the game kept having to catch up with me. I'd be warping all over the place, and it would have to load in stuff before I could resume doing anything. Right, so I was thinking, how do I change this? Oh, this is the remix song I was telling you about the other day. Oh, nice. You mean this was a remix that someone else did of your song? Or that you did of someone else's song? Or was this the collaboration you were talking about? This is a remix of someone else's song. I mean, I don't know if I've heard... I bet I haven't heard the other person's song, but I definitely like this version. Yeah, I guess I just really enjoy your style of music. It's like the perfect thing to listen to while you're just sort of happily coding away on something. I doubt you've heard of them. I wonder what they're up to. I haven't talked to them for a while. I don't know, maybe reach out. See what's going on. Or not. I mean, I don't know what relationship you had with them. whether or not that'd be painful or a pleasant thing. If it would be a pleasant thing, I recommend it. So shield durations, how do I want to handle this? Because I would want it to be like if there were different prizes that gave you different lengths of shield. You know what I think I want to do? I think I want to have like a modifier, like, yeah, like, then anytime you got a shield, the shield duration, let's say increased shields does like 10% each time you level it up. So you get a 10% longer. Or maybe 20%. Let's think about that. This was the original song. I'll listen to it later, just because I don't know if they'd want me to, listen to it on stream. But let me grab that link while it's still here. I'll plop it over in that tab. Okay. Increasing shield time, leveling up shields. Yeah, this kind of also, I feel, saves the problem of, or solves the problem. Yeah. Let's do shield modifier. Shield mod level up increase. Let's do 0.2. Then let's do shield mod as type float. That is just 1 to start with. Shield max level up increase is missing, which is fine because we don't need that. We want shield mod plus equals shield mod level up increase. Now what we do is, so this should all work the same, but here I'll just do times shield mod. So that should give us, yeah. All right, let's set a breakpoint here. And then let's play, start game. We shall get a book. The breakpoint will activate. We'll step. Shield time remaining 0. We step. Shield time remaining is 5. Skip breakpoints. Continue. All right. Now let's level up shields. We'll try it again. Grab the, oh dear, grab the book, got it. Put you in there. So shield, time rating 0, 0, 6. Nice. That works just as I expected it to. Oh, it's good when that happens. Okay, so we've got level ups now. So now we need to handle when that button is actually pressable. I think we want... Wait, did I have level up points in here? Maybe? Yeah. Level up points. Check if level up point. Okay. So what we want to do is in these level up functions, we want to make sure that there actually is a level up point. If level up points is greater than 0, then we can do all of this. Might as well call update player health bar. So if they accidentally get to the level up screen when they shouldn't be able to, we'll still have this check-in here. That'll mean they can't actually level up. And it should also clear the level up screen. Yes. I think that makes sense to me. Oh, also, hi, whoever just started watching. Or started watching maybe a while ago. How's your evening going? Right now, we're listening to music by Exodrifter. I'll plop the link in there again. Where's my thing? Got too many monitors. Too many monitors, yet never enough. All right. Then, once this is done, we also want to do minus equals 1. You've spent your level up point. We should also probably display to the player that they have level up points. Oh yeah, we were going to show that on the button itself. How should we do that? Where are you? In the game UI, there's a level up button. The function that we want to change that is here. Wait, no, this is when we've pressed the level up button. How should we figure if we display it? In player stats, we're doing check if level up point. So that's maybe where, once we check if there's a level up point, that's when we should display the button. Oh, I think that's the end of that album. I want to play this one again. Yeah, let's set the volume right around there. Game canvas layer dot I think I want to make a function for it. Display level up button. I think that's what I want to call it. Display level up button. Yes. So we will then, in the game canvas layer, it's going to be game UI dot I think I want to do find node, and you are called level up button. Dot visible is true, and the property of the button itself that I want to edit is its text. Right? I think so. Text is equal to level ups. No, just level up. Plus string player stats dot level up points. Right? And then we'll want to hide the level up button. When do we hide it? We should hide it after we've leveled up. And the level up events are occurring in player stats. So game canvas layer. Display level up button. Let's create a function to hide it. Then this will just change to false. Then back over in player stats. Okay, so we'll do that there. Then we'll have a check if level up points now is 0. We want game canvas layer to hide level up button. That and that. We also want to make sure that this starts hidden. I think that's what I want. here, Clover. Ow. Will this be enough? I don't think so. We should have gotten a level up there. I bet I'm forgetting to call something somewhere. Where are you? What script were you in again? I think player stats. Check if level up point gets called every time we increase the player experience. So that should... That should be getting called. Let's see. Do I... Okay, if we're checking... Need more coffee. Brain's getting sleepy. Okay. The vibes are too chill. Check if level up point gets called every time increased player experience. We're seeing that increase. The level up button. Wait, let's do this. Level up button. Display level up button. What? I'm not actually calling this anywhere. That would explain it. So... I need to call that in here. I also just realized that that's not what I wanted to set it to. I want... So let's... Okay, I want to set you to... Not 0, we want to carry over stuff. So it'll be... EXP points... EXP points minus equals EXP to next level. Yeah. And then we want game canvas layer, display level up button. Let's also go into the test level. And I'm going to put a whole bunch of slimes in there, I think. Nope, not that one. Whoops. Come back. Just a whole bunch of them. Alright. Whoa, slime buddies. You're super crowded in there. Let's cull a few of them. Alright, it carried it over. The button's displayed. Alright, click it. Get max shield up. Oh, didn't get that in time. Oh, the level up thing went. Okay, now let's get another level. Oh. Probably gonna need some more of these. Yeah. Does this get me experience? It does. Let's pick up some more prizes. Ow, I need a health potion. They aren't dropping any. Oh. Did I break it? So that health potions aren't dropping anymore? Alright, instead of that, I'm just gonna do this. Just wanted to see if the level up will go to level up +2. Just need a little more experience. Level up +2. Nice. Okay. Then... Oh dear. Wait. Did I... Oh, I bet I still have... Player stats. Do you have level up points? Oh, you don't have any level up points. So maybe it is working? I feel like the text wasn't accurately reflecting it though. Let's take a look for level up, but where are we editing your text? Only there. So we're only doing it. Okay. Can I update the text of a non-visible object? I bet I can. But it should be visible if there are points left. Well, let's make a function for it called update level up button text. And we want you So that'll get whatever the current is. We just need to call this anytime we do anything related to the level up button, which I'll find in stats, check if level up point, display level up button. Oh, I just need to call it on both display level up button and hide level up button. No. When do I need to call it? Anytime the level up points changes. That's when I need to call it. So where I'll do the level up. Where are you? We're doing a thing there, doing a thing there. Everything's in player stats, so that's good. Refresh player. Oh, I just thought of something else. I should have... Okay, stay on target. I was gonna say I should have like a refresh game UI, which is what I think I'll work on next. Let's see, I think it's about the time in the evening when I should switch the music to some lo-fi stuff. But yeah, thanks again, Exodrifter, for letting me play your music for a while. Let's see, where does the lo-fi stuff start? Here? Or wait, I thought I had a bigger one. Oh, here we go. Let's turn it down just a little. There we go. Starting to zero in on relaxation. Getting you all ready for sleep. All right. What I need to do... Yeah, every time I change the level up points. I'm sort of maybe making too many functions, but I'm almost thinking I should make like a level up point function. Also, I'm now just realizing, why do I have increase and decrease for all of these? I should just have one function. Update health, update mana. They're doing the same thing. I can just pass in a negative or a positive number. But then I'd have to go in and rewrite all this code. Change it where it's being used. I'll save that for refactor day, whenever refactor day happens. But I think I do want an update level up points function. will pass you an amount. Type int. Let's do level up points plus equals amount. So if I pass you a negative number, it'll add it to the current amount. Then, instead of calling this, I'll do update level up points by 1. And then in here, we can do game canvas layer dot. But wait, where are you? Are you in? You are in the game canvas layer. Good. That's where I want you. Okay, where else am I changing level up points? Update level up points here. Wait, no, I don't want to change it there. Okay, the refresh player one, that can stay there. And at the end, I'll just call refresh UI, which is the next thing I want to build. So in these three, we'll actually do it like this. -1. Do that, and do that. Where else are we changing you? I think that might be it. Whoops. Yeah, okay. Now it's just being assigned in 2 places. I think that's what we want. Okay. Refresh UI. How do I want to go about doing that? Let's do in here. Wow. Wouldn't you know it, I already have one. I must have thought that was a good idea a while ago. Let's do update level up button text. Where are we actually calling this? In the game controller? That's only on start game. And start game is being called on the windscreen. Okay, so that's what it's using for when I hit the start button. So I already had it all. Need a few more slimes in there. Let's go to the tile map. We gotta make you a little bigger to fit all those slimes. So many slimes. Hi. 2, 3. Got 3 points to spend. I'm gonna level up my max health. There really is no indication of what your health is actually at. I should make an overlay on the health bar or somewhere that displays the number as well as the bar. Anywho, the experience points work and the level up system. So now there's actually a reason for your experience points. Also, I think I'm gonna flip these two. Makes more sense to have gold over closer to the gold bar. Don't need all these slimes. Just want the one slime. Also, let's get rid of this clover that I keep forgetting to get rid of. Gonna make you small again. Little slime guy in a little pen. All right. I think this is pretty good. Oh, I need to add the extra stuff into there. Let's do that quick. So we need to add, we also need to change what this text says. Increases gold. You are this one. Let's duplicate you. Let's change your sprite to the clover. I think that's all I needed to put there. Now let's also put the slime there. We want... Oh wait, do I have a slime PNG? That's gonna be all of... That's gonna be the sprite map. I just want one of the slimes. Let's grab this. Let's select just this guy. And crop. Yeah. We'll just call you slime. Whoops. There we go. Whoa. My slime is way too small. And rotated, because I rotated the sword. That's right. Let's change you. Change that. And the scale we want is... No, maybe 0.3. That's pretty good. Let's change you up a little. Maybe not that much. There. Looks about right. Was there anything else that I added that I forgot? I don't think so. You know what I might want, though, is a way to actually exit the game. Because right now you have to lose or win. Yeah, that's the only way you can exit. So let's do... How do we want... Maybe we want a pause menu. What would we put in there? I suppose we could have some stats in there. That actually sounds like a pretty good idea. And then in the pause menu, you could also exit the game. Okay, let's do it that way. Let's do it that way after a quick break. I'll be back in a couple minutes. Alright, I'm back. Hi whoever just started watching. How's your evening going? Wait. What is that? That's a cool little emote. Okay. So I want to create a pause menu. I think it's supposed to be an onsen, but to be honest, I'm not 100% sure. That's... oh, I wish I could have visited an onsen when I went to Japan. But the people I traveled with I don't think were quite brave enough. Well, no, I take that back. One of them definitely would have been brave enough. the whole public bath thing and all, I mean. Although I suppose they have onsens that you wouldn't have to use the bathhouse for. Okay, pause menu. Game canvas layer. There are places with private baths too. That'd be pretty nice. Although I feel like if you're gonna do it, you should probably go all out. Also, I bet the private baths are pretty pricey. But I don't know for sure. I haven't really looked into that aspect of it. Alright, let's get this. We want a center container. Full rect. In that center container, I think we want a panel. That panel should contain what exactly? Some stats, maybe? Well, for now, let's just add the thing we need the most, which is the exit button. The panel container. I feel like we also want a color rect. That to be rendered up there. Let's make you full. We want your color to be black with what, 200? Yeah, that looks pretty good. So everything will be grayed out. And wait, do I already have on here? There's an exit game button. On here, there's a restart button. But there should also be an exit one here. Right? Yeah. I should have put one here before. Exit game button. Over screen, and it's the game controller that has end game. Okay. Button up. Connect to you. game controller dot endgame. Then in the, here's where I was making it, exit game button, we want you to signal we should have you as your own scene. We'll call you pause menu. And we will give you wait. Did I just save it as control? No, I didn't. Or did I? I don't think I did. I'll need to check. Oh, it's getting to be kind of late, so I think I might have to end the stream here. But I feel like I made a lot of good progress today. I will... Wait, no. Let's finish this first. This is an easy thing to polish off, and then I'll make a build. And then I'll go to bed. I might do that off stream though, because I think it looks like Camimoop is online right now, and I've wanted to raid Camimoop for a long while, but I haven't managed to catch it at the right time. So if you're all okay with that, let's go say hi to Camimoop. All right, here we go. And a raid we go. Bye.
This is fun. Do it like this, and then yeah, look at that. Nova, how's it going? Look what I just got working. Look at this. So now you can make your own like images using any textures you've got. Yes, you do come with friends. Welcome, friends. You can make new images using like built-in